much. I mean, I was in like high school, mid high school.
I had just moved down here. But anyway, welcome everybody. January 1st, 2020, the first NBA strategy show for Awesemo.com of the new year. Thank you very much to our sponsor, Yahoo Sports. We're happy to have you back in 2020. I am joined by Sal Vetri, and I am Josh Engelman. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Sal? Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, happy New Year, man! I'm excited. Last night, me and Chris closed out the decade. Now starting it off here is exciting stuff.
I wish the slate was a bit more exciting.
Yeah,
The NBA DFS industry is not a big fan of starting 2020 off right, because this is not the one. That
yeah.
I'm pretty confident in. But we get a decent January 2nd slate, but we'll save that for tomorrow.
You don't like 20 pieces of potentially garbage value?
I don't really. I don't at all. There's just a lot of growth that we're gonna have to get into. But first,
Yeah.
let's take a look back at the final day of 2019. Luka Doncic drops a 62 burger. He had like 35 fantasy points in 10 minutes or something stupid, so got a little nervous there. James Harden, second. The only two guys to pass 50 fantasy points yesterday. Marcus Aldridge had a decent day. Alec Burks went for 45. Everyone's favorite chalk play, Kai Bowman, went for 19.25. Ultimately, Marquise Chris went for 30.75 at 64% ownership on DK. It was kind of just a day. I don't even know what I did or how I ended up, other than just like knowing that the money didn't come back to my account.
Yeah, there was so much chalk, and obviously like Golden State and even on the Spurs side, like that game went to overtime, and that's really what got me there in the night. I think there's like a 10-point overtime performance from Burks. I think a little bit more from Aldridge, but I don't even know. Like I wonder if it would have even impacted things. I think everybody was just on it, so it helped everybody just lift all the scores. But yeah, it seemed like everybody produced. Luka almost erupted, but I was talking about it last night. I got a little more Harden and Luka lineups. It ultimately didn't matter just because there's a lot of value, but I just didn't have the right pieces around it. But it was an interesting concept once we got like RHJ and a little bit more pieces of value to go to get the two top dogs in.
RHJ scared me, man. We finished off the show. I hopped in the car. We were going to pick up sushi, and I get a message from Adam, and he's like, well, it looks like RHJ is dying immediately. Like, they already have Terrence Davis at the table. And that was the only thing I saw. So I just kept driving. I was like, cool. Like, I played 50-something% RHJ as soon as the news came out. And, like, cool. I'm dead in the water, and I haven't even made it to the sushi yet. Turns out he was coming in for Pat McCaw, but ultimately it didn't matter. I didn't have what I needed for last night, and that's fine. That's DFS for you. On to a new year, on to a new decade. Starting it off fresh today.
Let's do it.
Highest value play of the day from yesterday. Do you know who that was?
Was it Nerlens Noel?
It was not Nerlens Noel. He was sixth. Monty Morris, 34.25 fantasy points at 3,100. Went for 11x.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think I ever spoke his name.
Yeah, no, I didn't either. But I guess, Harris being out somewhat helped. But I don't even know if that directly helped that. But I would imagine it did.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it at this point, honestly. Patty Mills went for 33.5. He was the third highest value guy. Only Monty Morris and Maxi Kleber finished above 10x. Daniel Mardorf, Super Chat, starting off the year with the first one. We will remember that forever. Happy New Year. 22 it was a $22 Super Chat. 22 is a lucky number. Good luck to all in 2020. Thanks for the content. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, Porzingis being out after lock was pretty big for Maxi Kleber. That's for sure.
Definitely. Yep, definitely. And that was crazy because I saw the news and I went to go like try and make adjustments, and then I was like, oh, it's 8-11. Like this thing already locked. And that's like one of the first ones we've had this year. It would have been wild if that happened and he was like actually chalky or really popular.
I'm surprised that Maxi didn't get any more ownership. Still only at 2.3, but I guess that's New Year's Eve for you. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
being like, you know
Yeah.
what, I need to take some time out of my night to late swap to Maxi Kleber. It's just like, you know what, I'm going to eat this one.
Yeah. No, you couldn't even late swap. Like it came out after the
Oh, it came
fact.
out
The
after
news
that
came
game.
out at like 8:10. Like the game
Oh,
started.
I was
Yeah,
long
like
done.
that's what I was saying. Like it would have been that's what I was going to do. Like I opened up my phone, I didn't even see the time. And like yeah, I was like moving at that point. I wasn't even home, I don't think. Actually, I might have been. I was on my laptop and yeah, it was locked. I was like that was one of the first ones I think that happened all year, at least to a notable player.
I just assumed it happened in that 7 to 8 window, so like FanDuel
Yeah.
people were screwed regardless.
Yeah.
Top lineup last night went to FTA KJ, original hirer of me. I did a couple articles for a month or two at his website like 5 years ago. So Luka Doncic, James Harden, Draymond Green, Paul Millsap, Jake Puddle, Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson III, and Maxi Kleber. $100 left in salary. It's a decent lineup,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you lucked out with the you need some luck with the Porzingis news.
Absolutely. And, Jake Puddle just happened to make it work. 20.75 fantasy points, but just needed that particular amount at that salary.
Yeah, everything else, I got worried with Glenn Robinson in the first half. The first quarter. He had what, like 18, 19 after the first quarter?
He's a guy
done
I
that.
always
think
end
he's
up a
done that
ton of,
2 or
too,
3.
so I was happy,
Yeah,
but
he's done
didn't
that
matter.
like 2 or 3 times this year where he drops like a 20, 24-point first half, and then he just falls away in the second half.
Yeah.
Overtime helped him a little bit.
Then he remembers who he was.
Yep.
Or is, I guess. All right, that's a look back at yesterday, but we're not trying to look back any longer. We're trudging ahead into 2020 and beyond. But you should look back slightly at Emacs Cash Building Blocks article from yesterday. There's some information there on how to sign up at our presenting sponsor, Yahoo Sports. Click the link, enter the promo code AWESEMO, get yourself up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. It's as good as cash. You're going to pay lower management fees. You're going to see softer competition. A lot of 10 max contests, which I think is just sort of like the perfect amount for a contest. Just enough to have a couple irons in the fire, but you don't have to worry about cranking out 150 right before lock. So please check out the article that I dropped into chat and sign up at Yahoo using the promo code AWESEMO. Not the only promo we've got going on, though, right now. We've got a twofer for the new year for awesemo.com. You have two options. It's up to you guys what you'd like to do. But we're giving you two. First one, promo code 2020. That should be pretty easy, considering that's the new year. You can get 20 days worth of Awesemo Plus Platinum membership for $20. 20 days, $20 gives you access to everything we have, every sport, every bit of projections and rankings and ownership, all of it. 20 days for $20 using the promo code 2020. Or if you're interested in making the full investment, you'd use the promo code New Year. That is one big word, New Year. You get 20% off your first year of Awesemo Plus Platinum. We don't normally do that big of a discount on our yearly package. This is only going to be active for 10 days, so this will end on January 10th. But if you want to sign up for the full year, go to awesemo.com/join. Use the promo code NEWYEAR, one big word. You can get 20% off your first year of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Check them out. 2020, New Year, both promo codes.
What a deal. What a steal.
It is. That's the perfect way to start the new year as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. People that were waiting for it, they got it.
Yeah,
waiting for that
they found it.
Discount.
It's here.
The gym deals.
So we've got 4 games today.
Yeah.
Sort of. FanDuel, not including the 6 o'clock start. I don't believe that Yahoo is either. DraftKings has the full 4-gamer. So tonight we will have Deeper Dive at 4 p.m. live before lock at 5 p.m. for the DraftKings lock at 6. We're going to start it off with Wizards and Magic, though. Does that work for you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wizards 107, implied total. Magic 113.5. So 6.5-point favorites in Washington. We know that the Wizards are walking wounded. There's just nobody healthy for this team whatsoever. Bradley Beal is questionable. As of right now, I have him in I don't really know what else to do if I don't. It's a lot easier to take him out and have more value than prepare for it otherwise. So for right now, I'm assuming Bradley Beal is in. The rest of these guys, assuming they are out, the Mo Wagner's and Thomas Bryant's, Rui out for a while. Who am I missing?
Yeah, I mean,
Bertans could be
Bertans,
back,
yeah.
I guess. He's listed as out right now. So he's probably the guy that's going to be back the soonest of all of those four. But for right now, not looking like we're going to see any of those guys. Jordan McRae is 5,800 on DraftKings. Stands out a little bit to me. Even if Bradley Beal is back in, I've got him in for 26 minutes right now. But honestly, I had a lot of trouble trying to project out this rotation because none of these guys really play the positions that they're asked to play. So how do you feel about the Wizards tonight?
Yeah, I have Beal in too. He practiced in full yesterday, so that gives me some confidence. I put him at 36 instead of 38. If we get any other news, I'll just on no minutes limit. If he returns, he'll be back to 38. So I have McRae at 24. If I put him at 26, I would get some. Right now, everything else doesn't look great. So Beal is like the one thing, if I have him in at that price point, that I like. It's a difficult matchup. I mean, one of the better defenses in the league. Orlando doesn't turn the ball over either, so it's not going to be many extra possessions outside of the pace spot for Washington here, a little bit less than usual. So Beal's all that I get to. I mean, the 30% usage, close to 30% assists, continues to just shoot a really high clip of mid-range jumpers, but also get to the rim. So he's around a 1.3 plus guy with all these guys off the court. Everything else doesn't really stand out too much. If I gave McRae those extra 2 minutes, he would be just around there. Mahimny with the price bump, he would be like my next best guy behind Beal on this team. But the only guy that I would probably get to would be Beal at 8,700 on this side of it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of ownership coming in here. The only guy in double digits right now is Isaiah Thomas, 5,100 on DK. He's at 13%. Another guy I want to point out, Pashnik's, 3,500 on DK. There's not a ton of like fun value. He's the direct backup to Jan Mahinmi. If Jan Mahinmi were to get into foul trouble against Vooch, we could see Pashnik's pick up a couple extra minutes. He hasn't been great. 0.88 FanDuel points per minute over his illustrious career with the Wizards. I think he's worth a shot on a 4-gamer, just given the way that his role is set. I don't want to completely compare him to Monty Morris from last night, but like that's sort of what you're looking for. Trying to catch one of those guys that gets a little bit more than they would have on a short slate because of some outside forces. At 3,500, that's the risk I'm willing to take. But I'm not saying like jam him in or anything.
Yeah, I think Monty Morris, and then I think like just position-wise, just Jakob Poeltl, or Jakob Poeltl last night. I think it's a exact same type of thing right there. If you get 20 minutes out of him at a little bit more peak production, it's $3,500. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. But yeah, only Isaiah Thomas in double digits in ownership right now. Ben P, thank you for the super chat. Came in first in the $1 Tony on Yahoo yesterday. $300. My biggest win of 2019. Thanks for all your hard work. Congrats to you, man. What a way to close out 2019. Your biggest win of the year.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's got to be a really exciting way to celebrate for the night. I, on the other hand, passed out on the couch at 10 o'clock, set an alarm for 11:50, came back downstairs, watched the ball drop, and went back to sleep.
There you go. Yeah, I got back from the acorn drop and then started working on the slate and lost time, and it was like almost 4 a.m.
You're crazier than me, man. You're crazier than me.
Yeah,
Let's go to the Magic side.
Now.
There's actual basketball players on the Magic side. I have Aaron Gordon out for right now.
Yeah, I do too.
Just seemed easier. If he's in, pretty easy to slot back in. A lot of ownership, though. We've got 6 guys in double digits. Nobody coming away too crazy. Terrence Ross, the highest owned guy at 26%. Vooch is at 23%. Markelle Fultz at 21%. The rest of the guys are all in the teens. For me personally, I think Terrence Ross stands out the most, 4,200. Had a terrible game 2 nights ago as a bit of a chalk play. I'm happy to go right back to it, especially against Washington. This matchup doesn't get much better than that. And then Vooch would be my number 2, 8,200. Just Jan Mahinmi not going to get it done. Pashnik's not going to get it done. This should be a pretty big spot for Vooch. What stands out to you from the Magic?
I think they all do. They're like my top 5 value plays today, and like 6 of them are in the top 8 right now, at least just as of right now. So yeah, I have Ross as the number 1 value on the slate. I think I gave him, He played 28 in the last one. I think I gave him 27, and he grades out for like 24 fantasy points. Just a really good spot against Washington. They give up the best effective field goal percentage against, and then for Vooch's case, the most offensive rebounds. So it's just a nice spot for Vooch, who you never have to worry about foul trouble for this guy. He's too cheap. 25% usage, 25% rebounding. I gave Vooch, I think he could play more minutes if Gordon's out. I have Gordon out too. He didn't practice yesterday. Just the entire starting rotation gets a little bit bumped up. You saw that in the last game, but at just 32 minutes, it's hard to ignore him. 8,200 grades out for around 44 fantasy points for me right now. So I like all the guys. Like right after that, Fournier would be a top 5 value for me, Augustine and Fultz. It's hard to get away from really all of them. So I'll have a lot of all of Orlando. I think that Augustine is nice, and Ross, obviously the direct benefit of just Gordon being out, but also Michael Carter-Williams, since he's been out, it's like 6 to 7 minutes, but it's just solidifying Augustine at upper 20s in minutes. I have him right around there today, 4,500 as a guy around 24 fantasy points. So yeah, I like all these guys. I think that whichever ones come in lower owned will just be easier to get to.
Yeah, we're on the same page. I like the 6 main guys from the Magic. Fultz would be my least favorite. So seeing him get a little bit more ownership is kind of exciting to me. It allows me to just naturally have something slightly different. Like I would rather go to DJ Augustine, oddly enough. Wouldn't have expected to say that, ever. But that's where I'm at for right now. Gonna have a lot of exposure to the Magic. I see no way around it. That's what happens when you play the Wizards. They're real bad. Although, who the hell knows? They won 2 nights ago.
Yeah, they play teams hard. I keep forgetting the game. I watched the whole entire game. It was like 2 weeks ago. It was might have been the Sixers that they beat.
You giving Garrison Matthews enough minutes today to go crazy again?
If I have Beal in, I think I gave him like 10 minutes.
I gave him 8, so we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else for this Wizards Magic game.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean, if you count like Wes Iwando being so cheap, I have like 7 Wizards in the top 10 for value.
Yeah, I gave him 24 minutes. He's even at the minimum not sneaking into too much.
Yeah, I gave him 26, so I guess that makes sense.
New York Knicks, Portland Trailblazers, 7:30 start. Blazers 4-point favorites in New York. Frankie Smokes is questionable. Dennis Smith Jr. questionable. Reggie Bullock, I guess, is available. This is his first game that he is back. You're asking the wrong guy how I think they're going to work him into the rotation. I assume they want to. Whether or not that happens, I have no idea. Wayne Ellington also back. So if you're trying to corner the market on 3-point shooters from the University of North Carolina, today is your lucky day. The Knicks are doing their best to have them, or they both won't play. And now we have a FanDuel. So this game is a part of the FanDuel slate. A lot of ownership coming in here too. Randall, Payton, and RJ Barrett, all roughly 40% owned on FanDuel. Randall, Payton, Marcus Morris, and RJ Barrett, all in the teens on DK. I'm not so sure I agree with some of these numbers. I like Payton, 5,900 on FanDuel, 6,100 on DK. I've been playing 30 minutes a game. That one feels about as safe as it's going to get. And then I don't mind getting to Julius Randle, 7,500 on FanDuel, 8K on DK. But I don't want to go too crazy. What do you want to do with the Knicks against Portland?
Yeah, so Randall's my favorite guy, even with the price bump. And you said he was getting ownership right now in DK at 8K?
18% on DraftKings.
Okay, yeah, that feels good for the slate size. Yeah, so I have him at 35 minutes. I think it's a good spot for him. You're just seeing doesn't get in foul trouble, 20% rebounding guy, leads the team in usage, even picks up assists at the 4 position. And then and in terms of like set pieces, individual matchup will be good. So yeah, at 8K, he's my favorite Nick right now. And then right after that would probably be, it's really close for the rest of these guys. Barrett, Morris, and Payton all kind of fall into the same just okay plays. They're fine in terms of getting there for me right now. I probably prioritize Barrett the most. It's just probably the easiest because he's the cheapest. Have him at, I think, 31 minutes right now. He is, so far this season, at 23% usage. That slowly continues to tick down, which is kind of a concern. But he continues to drive to the basket, 48% of his shots at the basket, 28% from 3. I like to see those numbers. I think that, guys like Payton and Barrett and Morris, they're all kind of in a bucket for me. I have a little bit of interest, probably for the same reasons that we were talking about. I'll just call him AP for now because I'm not going to say the last name. You want to teach me it? What is it again?
Oshniks?
Poshniks? Okay, there we go. That's pretty easy.
Although, let me make sure that
Looking
I'm
at
not
looking at it
whiffing
is
on that.
terrifying, but saying it's easy.
Let me make sure I'm not screwing that up still, because it's tricky.
I have no idea. I mean, I've listened to like Adam and Lofty say it, but it's been like 2 times.
Pasechniks?
Okay,
Pasechniks? Yeah.
I'll let you.
Anjes Pasechniks.
There you go. So, but similar to that, thank you. It's Bobby Portis in that same type of bucket for 20 to 22 minutes. If I give him right now at like 21, I don't really get much. If I give him 22, he starts to grade out as something that's in play on this 4-game slate for me. And yeah, just a guy who's going to have around 20% usage when he's in there.
I have a guy that I want to point out on DraftKings, and I think it's disgusting, but I want to say it anyway because he's not getting any. He might be the guy that loses the minutes, but I've got Damian Dotson in for 26 minutes. He is 3,200 on DraftKings. He's bad. 0.66 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. He's $200 above the minimum and has been getting minutes. He could be the first guy that loses them for Reggie Bullock or Wayne Ellington or anybody, Trier. There's no telling with the Knicks, but just given where value is right now, I don't think he's outlandish at 3,200. Please don't take that as any sort of me advocating for him. I'm just pointing out that his like the column that I look at isn't highlighted in dark red. It's basically orange. So
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like depending on what all these guards questionable tags look like, that'll sway that for me. Right now, I have him at 20 minutes, but I'm also giving Bullock like 8 minutes and Ntilikina like 10. So it's just I am having it pull from there. But yeah, if we got that Ntilikina, DSJ were all out, then I'd probably start to give him 24, 26.
Gene Smith telling me I'm wrong about that pronunciation. I'm reading it directly from Basketball Reference, and it is phonetically sounded out on the screen. So best I can do is read. That's all I know how to do.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised to see RJ Barrett be 38% owned on FanDuel. I mean, I get it. It's a 3-game slate. These numbers look higher just sort of by default, but Middleton, Booker, McCollum. I mean, even if you want to go to DiVincenzo, like there's a lot of RJ Barrett.
Yeah, no, I agree. He just is kind of another guy for me, so it's easy to get away from it.
Yeah, 38%. That's a big number. I don't really have much else for the Knicks. It's pretty much just Peyton and Randall, unless you're looking to get really weird with Damian Dotson. And I'm expecting to not get that weird with him if we get some word on Bullock being back.
Yep, yeah, Randall for me, and then that next group of guys in Peyton, Barrett, and Morris are all kind of interchangeable. I would probably lean with the ownership Peyton over Barrett.
Legalize says my New Year's resolution is to quit DFS chats. Looks like you're off to a pretty shitty start, man. Great job. First one you could possibly get into in 2020, and you're already here. Portland Trailblazers. We've got Dame Lillard at 9,300 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DK, $43 on Yahoo. I don't hate that. Why is that column so big? Weird. Anyway, Lillard getting some love. Obviously, Whiteside and McCollum getting some love. Carmelo Anthony getting the most love. 36% owned on FanDuel, 25 on DK. We also get Anthony Simons at 17 and 18% respectively. I'm focused most on the big three, quote unquote. That does not include Carmelo Anthony. He is my least favorite of the Portland guys getting any ownership. I would say that Whiteside would be my number one. And then I prefer Lillard to McCollum on FanDuel. I prefer McCollum to Lillard on DraftKings. Who do you prefer?
So on DraftKings, I have it McCollum, Whiteside, and then Lillard. And I actually have, in terms of like value, Simons right there with McCollum, but it's just a pricing thing at 3,400. It means like 18 fantasy points, 17. But yeah, I like McCollum here at 6,800. I think it's just too cheap of a price point. He's just playing like 38 minutes a night out there, very just quietly getting a ton of minutes. He's exactly a fantasy point per minute guy for DraftKings this year. Gets all the usage, shooting a ton from mid range, but also getting a lot of 3-pointers, up 38% of his shots. So I like McCollum the most. They all grade out pretty well though. So right after that with Whiteside, Lillard, even Carmelo Anthony to an extent, but he's behind all of them. For me, right behind Lillard, I'll probably get the most McCollum, probably some Simons, and then I think Whiteside's fine. I don't know really. The matchup for offensive rebounding is definitely worse against the Knicks, but I don't know let me see what I gave Whiteside for minutes, because I mean for him he's like what is he, like 1.35 this year? I gave him 33 minutes
He's been at
and he's
1.47 the last 30 days on FanDuel.
all right. Then yeah. Oh wow, I might have to adjust that. I have him at like 1.38 if so I give him 33 minutes. If I go to like a 34, 35, he's going to be the best play, and I'll just get a lot. So I kind of like holding him at 33 right now.
Yeah, the tricky part is, would you rather have Hassan Whiteside at 8,300 or Vooch at 82?
Right now, Vooch, but is there ownership on?
They're the same.
Yeah, Vooch, I would rather have.
I'm on the same page with you. That was another reason why I was a little more pump the brakesy on Julius Randle. He's $200 cheaper than Vooch. We've got Vooch sitting there at just a really nice price relative to the rest of the slate.
Yeah, and if he stays at that ownership, it's just really good ownership too for him.
Yeah, I'll have a lot more than 23%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. 36% Melo. I get it. I understand that position is pretty awful, but it's got Giannis and LeBron today. That's a lot. Yeah. I don't see Melo as the third best option. I think that's probably Jarrett Culver, which we'll get to. This is a FanDuel conversation, obviously, but we'll see where
Melo.
What'd you say?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that Melo right now, he's shooting 44.2% effective field goal rate. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's, just for a description, that's bad. 37% from three. He's shooting 52% at the rim. That is just like, for an NBA player, that is just bad, but he's shooting a ton of shots. So, and playing 36 minutes.
Yeah. DFS is different than, real talent. He's at 96.9 total points scored per 100 shot attempts. That is the worst number of his career.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Melo. Welcome back.
Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I have him at like 30 fantasy points and he's just another good play. But if you're going to say that he's like a top 5 owned player on the slate or right around there on these sites, then it's easier to get away from. I think he's a fine play, but just easier to get away from because of the ownership.
Actually, I have him at 27 fantasy points for today. So he's showing up in absolutely nothing.
That makes sense.
And I'm not mad about it. Not at all.
What did you put his minutes at?
34, which could easily be higher.
Yeah, I think I have him at 36, so that's the exact reason for the difference.
It's something I'll need to dig into a little bit. But yeah, mostly for me, it's just going to be Whiteside, McCollum, and Lillard. I don't think I'm going to get there on Melo. Don't really think I'm going to get there on Simons, but we shall see. He's been bad. 0.69 FanDuel points per minute over the last 30 days. That's worse than I was expecting.
Yeah, not good. I don't know if it's Hezonja or just he's been playing more for the last 3 games as a small sample. I didn't really see any blowout run in there, but I think I have him at like 22 minutes, and yeah, it's like 17 and a half fantasy points. So any other value probably gets you there more. It just is cheap.
There we go. Halfway point, guys. Perfect opportunity to hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Jake will have his NHL strategy show at 4. We'll have the deeper dive going at 4 p.m. as well. And then live before lock at 5 p.m. Myself and Fast Eddie Fear taking you all the way up until the 6 p.m. DraftKings lock. And again, if you're looking to sign up at awesemo.com, go to awesemo.com/join. You can either use the promo code 2020 for a $20 20-day Awesemo Plus Platinum subscription, or use the promo code New Year to get yourself 20% off your first year of Awesemo Plus. Any revenge narrative for you for Melo? We forgot to mention it. Back to New York.
No, none for me, but I thought about that while doing it, and it should be fun to watch. Maybe.
We'll see. All right, here goes nothing. Milwaukee Bucks, Minnesota Timberwolves. The Bucks are 17.5 point favorites at home. Managing this one is going to be tricky. Giannis is 11-8 on FanDuel, 11-2 on DraftKings. He's 30 to 40% owned depending on the site. Chris Middleton picking up some ownership, 31% on FanDuel. Eric Bledsoe, 15 to 25%. We're getting Dante DiVincenzo in the teens. I'm going to be going to Giannis. I have him in for 30 minutes. I still have him projected for high 50s in fantasy points. How much does this game scare you? What do you want to do with the Bucks?
Yeah, it does scare me a lot. Like if I put if I put Giannis at 30, he comes out for like a 58 fantasy point day. I'm almost tempted to leave him at 28, which just completely changes it, puts him like not as much of a priority, around mid 50s to like 54, 55. So that's probably something I'll try and think about throughout the day if I want to just play it straight up. But that 17-point spread is scary with potentially 6 players out for this team, and they're 3 best players, I would say. So it's concerning. Right now, I have him at 28, and I get some. If I put him at 30, I get a good amount. And yeah, it scares me. I kind of do the same thing with Middleton. I have Bledsoe kind of still having this minutes limit. We'll see if we get any news on that. But yeah, right now, Milwaukee would be Giannis, depending on what I do with the minutes. I think Brook Lopez, to an extent, is interesting if you put him in the high 20s in minutes. And then after that, I mean, it's if you're somebody who likes to stomach playing like Pat Connaughton's and things like that, if this fourth quarter gets wonky, for just cheap price points, because last 2 out of 3 games he's seen some pretty intense blowout run. He's usually the first guy to get in there.
Yeah, this one's going to be real tricky. Getting this one right, it's going to be tough.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll be going to Giannis. Don't mind it. Scares me, that's for sure. He could play 20 minutes and this one is over.
Yep.
Dante DiVincenzo for 4K on DraftKings. I've got my eye there right now. 17% ownership doesn't seem too crazy. Oh, now we got to do it. You ready for this? Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgie Jang, 38% ownership on FanDuel. Robert Covington, 50. Shabazz Napier, 37. Jarrett Culver, 21. Keelan Martin, 26. You guys are a little bit less owned on DK, but I don't want to say that I love these guys because that would make it seem like they're good. But the opportunity is there. I'm going to have a ton of Jarrett Culver, a ton of Robert Covington. Like Robert Covington is at 15% ownership on DraftKings right now. That seems way too low given what is going to happen in this game. The 4 guys that I mentioned, Jang, Covington, Napier, Culver, I'm just going to have like a really large amount of. Keelan Martin is now 4K on DraftKings and projected for 30% ownership. Not entirely sure I'm going to get that much, but I understand why he's getting the love. What in the world do you want to do with Minnesota without Karl Anthony Towns, without Andrew Wiggins, and without Jeff Teague?
Yeah, so I saw the Martin ownership, and yeah, I agree it makes sense, but like projects out for around 20 fantasy points is really all I can give it right now with the sample we have on him. So it's okay, but if it's really highly owned, I think you can go to maybe some of the Magic guys or other guys on this team. Napier and Dang stand out a lot. So we have a very small sample with these 3 big guys off the court. You could also take Layman off. It doesn't really matter too much, but a 1.26 in about 100 minutes. So really small here, but 1.26 fantasy points per minute for Dang in that time. I'm not going to project him for that, but there's definitely going to be a bump for him. I like him even at this price point. Everything goes up for him. He picks up assists. He shoots a ton of threes, 38% of his shots. Napier also at this price point, you like it. Napier is just a perfect type of DFS tournament play. He gets a ton of assists. They might drop just with the skill level out there right now, but ton of assist opportunities. And then he shoots a ton of threes, 56% of them. So right now I have it in terms of just like point per dollar or rankings on these guys. Napier, Dang, Covington, Martin, Culver. And I'm going to get a lot of them. I don't really know what to do with the rest of them. They don't grade out well, like Bates, Diapo. These are guys that might play 24, 26 minutes, Okogie, but they're just not great producers. So I'll probably just stay away from them. It's my favorite from this entire team is probably Covington and Napier.
Okay. Yeah, I have Covington, Napier, and Culver all like right next to each other on FanDuel and on DK.
Yeah.
That $5,800 tag for Napier is a little tough. $1,000 more expensive than he is on FanDuel, but still, we're projecting him for 7% ownership. I think that I'd end up having like 40.
Yeah, and I think like the thing for Napier is what I was saying a little bit is like he'll project out maybe for like 30 fantasy points for a lot of people are around there, but his ceiling is huge just because of how much he's going to have on him, and he could shoot like 10 to 15 threes tonight. I wouldn't be shocked.
And again, we talk about it a lot. The game could just stay close.
Yeah.
Be prepared for something like that.
Yeah. I also don't know like who they can take off the court though if it doesn't, at least on the Minnesota side. Like if like Graham was to miss and even Vonleh as well, like if they were down 6 bodies, I guess Napier could come off a little bit more because who do they have, like McClellan as a point guard behind him?
I guess. It's pretty thin as far as Minnesota goes right now. So yeah, keep an eye on Travion Graham. Keep an eye on Noah Vonleh. Vonleh is out. You know, we might see Naz Reid or more minutes from Jordan Bell. If Travion Graham is out, we probably get a lot of minutes of Josh Okogie being terrible. just good luck with that. Mr. OG DFS. Hey, Josh, doesn't Vonleh have success versus Giannis? Who cares? What? I'm not worried about the backup center for the Minnesota Timberwolves taking it to Giannis in a 17-point game. I can't project for that.
Yeah, man, that just brings me flashbacks of Vonleh last year when he was the best player on the Knicks for a good 2 or 3 weeks at one point, dropping 50 burgers in DFS.
Yeah.
That was probably during that time.
I thought that he would be more involved with the Wolves this year, but they've been rough.
I thought so too. I thought it was a pretty good addition, but he is their third to fourth center.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be in for like a stretch 5, could play alongside Towns.
He looked good with the Knicks. It's crazy. I mean, he was obviously out last game, so whoever Naz Reid is. Did you watch any of Minnesota's last game?
Yeah.
Naz Reid shot. You shouldn't have, yeah, but he shot 2 or 3 3-pointers as a center. He did not jump. He just stayed planted. His 3-point shot, and he made one and one rimmed out, but his 3-point shot was no jump shot, nothing to it.
Well, he might get a couple more of those depending on Noah Vonleh's health.
Yeah, it was a wild game. I mean, he made the 3-point shot. He stood there and held the finish, and like it went to commercial. And I was like, "What am I watching right now?"
Oh God! No, I did not catch much of the Wolves game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I had a lot of the crap value, but Keelan Martins of the world.
All right, let's close this out. Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns, late night hammer. Lakers are 11-point favorites in Phoenix. We'll start on the Lakers side, where I basically only want to roster 2 guys, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. AD is 10-8 on FanDuel, 9,900 on DraftKings, currently projected for 63% ownership on FanDuel. LeBron James, on the other hand, 11K on FanDuel, 10-3 on DK. They are both $53 on Yahoo. I prefer AD. LeBron, roughly 40% across both sites. Those are the only 2 guys I want. Those are the only 2 guys I will likely have, at least as of right now. And I'll have a bunch of AD and LeBron. Hard for me to not prefer AD, especially on that $9,900 DK tag.
Yeah, so they're the 2 guys that I like the most too. Right now I have AD at 36, LeBron at 35. I have LeBron a little bit ahead of AD, but they're by like 0.4 fantasy points. I have them both around like 54 fantasy points, 54 and a half. So yeah, I like both of them. They're my 2 favorite pay up options right now. If I was to hold with Giannis at 28 minutes instead of 30, after that, it's just a bunch of fillers. If you like wanted to get to the similar to like Jacopoto last night, like 18, 20 minutes of potentially Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee in the 3K ranges that can get you like a 20, 22 point performance. I think I'll have those guys, but they grade out okay. They really have a very thin range of outcomes from like 16 to 20 to 22 fantasy points. So you're hoping for the top end of that tonight. But yeah, it's just LeBron's been unreal. So is AD. I mean, almost 50% true assist percentage right now is insane. Doesn't get in any foul trouble. He's like one of the least in the league at like 1.8% foul rate. Just at how much he plays, how many minutes, it's nuts. Kuzma's been playing more minutes as of late. I have him in for 26 right now, but just doesn't get assists, doesn't grab rebounds. It's really relying on scoring, and I'm not getting to much right now. So traces of Dwight Howard, then JaVale McGee, and then a lot of LeBron and AD is what stands out. KCP's been playing better of late, but his rates are still terrible. It's just not projecting well.
Yeah, I really just don't expect to have anything from the Lakers outside of these main 2 guys. There's no one else does anything. I thought that I could kick Kyle Kuzma. I couldn't be further from the truth. And he's projected for ownership in the teens. So is Rondo, and so is Danny Green. I'm not going to be there on the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit more interest probably in Rondo and Kuzma, but they're also guys that, like, with all the value on the slate, they don't have anywhere near like the ceilings because of the players on their team as these other guys filling in, whether it's Orlando or Minnesota. Like, I have Kuzma at 23 fantasy points. That's exactly just meh. Yeah. Rondo at 20 fantasy points. It's just very meh.
Yep. Yeah, there's just not a lot of fantasy talent here for the Lakers.
Yeah, no, not outside of the top guys, none.
But they are good. Phoenix, on the other hand, gonna have some ownership here. Devin Booker, 7,200 on FanDuel, 7,400 on DK. 13-8 on Fantasy Draft, also pretty appealing. Ricky Rubio picking up some love, can't disagree there. Kelly Oubre, 6,900 on FanDuel, 6,500 on DraftKings. Mikal Bridges is only 3,500 on DraftKings. That's something I have my eye on. I'm going to be getting to a couple of these guys from Phoenix. I think Devin Booker is probably a little over-owned on FanDuel, but I still like him. The 23% ownership on DraftKings seems a little bit better to me. How are you trying to manage the Phoenix Suns tonight?
Yeah, so the Lakers do a really good job at limiting just points per possession, but that's already built into these prices. I think they're sixth best in the league. They're top three against guards, so your Rubio and your Bookers, but to an extent Oubre, but not really. It's their price points are already matching it. So Booker, the way that he's been playing as of late, the minutes that he's been getting in the upper 30s is nice to see. 7,400. The guy's pushing 30% usage again. Rubio, I think I like a little bit more right now. Rubio for a slight discount of $400, but I have them grading out pretty similar. Give the slight edge to Rubio. His assist percentage is not up there with like LeBron, but in terms of top 10 in the league, it's been fantastic. 38% this season. I like that. They're the two main producers I like here. I'm not getting as much Ayton as I expected, but I think it's where I'm placing his minutes at 28. If I gave him 30, he would be just very meh. And just the positionality of center, I'd prefer Vooch and probably some other positions after that. So I think it's just Rubio, then Booker for me. I think Bain stands out though if he's going to keep playing these minutes. I have him at 26 today. Just stands out as an okay value. I think it can go a little bit more. It can go also less depending on what Ayton plays. Tough matchup down low, but the top end guys stand out the most. Oubre is just kind of there, and I think that's what stands out. Just a tough matchup for them, but good price points across the board.
I gave Ayton 26 minutes for right now. He's not showing
Okay.
up for me at that number.
Yeah, he doesn't show up even at 28 for me right now.
Yeah, so I think I'll be avoiding him one way or the other. If I'm ranking these guys, it'd be Booker on FanDuel, then Oubre, then Rubio. Same order on DraftKings, although I would be inserting Mikal Bridges into my second favorite spot from the Suns. I think the $3,500 tag is just a little bit too cheap for him there. 4,100 on FanDuel, I don't really need it. This is
Yeah, I
not
agree.
this is not a great late night hammer.
No, not at all. I think, yeah, you get to one of the top end guys on the Lakers and maybe take a stab on like a Dwight Howard, but that's about it. Yeah, I mean, going through this slate, there's a lot of value, and again, I think it's going to just be easy to pivot away from some of the chalkier pieces because, like, I have for a 4-game slate, just like 40 players noted as like right now probably going to be in some sort of pool, and that seems a little high for that little games.
I have 39 in my DraftKings
Yeah,
player pool. So
yeah, I have right now exactly 40.
I wonder who the guy is that we don't have.
Wait, hold on. 41. Yeah, because like I have like a title thing at the top, so it's 40. I was gonna say, is it 39 too? But yeah, I don't know. I have 40 to be exact. And then, like I said earlier, like my top 6 out of 9 values are Orlando guys, even with all these Minnesota guys in.
Is there anybody that you look at, if you just look at that list quickly, is there anybody that stands out as like, surprised that guy's there?
In terms of value, just because he's cheap, probably like Mo Bamba. Like he grades out as like 17 points, but
There he is. We found him.
is that it?
Yeah, I don't have him in here.
Yeah, I have him as a wait, no. He's not in my interest. He's just at the top of the value. I have him as a no. He's the only guy. If I filter this by value, I get down to the 40th person before I have another no. Like I have guys as yeses and maybes. He's the only guy who's a no. But no, I don't know. I'm looking at now. Maybe probably Simons. I know you said earlier.
He is in mine right now, but it's definitely going to be more than one guy because I'm going to say something right now that no one else is going to agree with. Bradley Beal is not one of those 39 for me.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he's in there for me.
Yeah, I figured as much. He should be for any rational person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let's sum it up. Who are your favorite plays from DraftKings today?
All right, so I'll try and do this by like pricing ranges. So for me, it's LeBron, AD. Moving down a little bit more, definitely Vooch. Going down more to the Evan Fourniers of the world, Terrence Ross's. I will go Robert Covington and DJ Augustine.
FanDuel, Shabazz Napier is pretty clearly the best point guard option. Behind him, I'll go with Elfrid Payton. At shooting guard, Devin Booker is my favorite shooting guard, but ownership is already there. After that, it's probably Chris Middleton. At small forward, give me Jarrett Culver. Give me LeBron James. Power forward is going to be Robert Covington and Anthony Davis. And at center, Gorgeous Dong at 6,200. And if you're paying up, Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah, that sounds good.
4 games up and down, man. Bang that one out pretty quick.
2020.
Pay close attention to news today, and pay close attention. We will be live an hour earlier than normal since we have the 6 p.m. lock for DraftKings. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow Sal at Salvetri DFS.
Correct.
Bingo.
Yes, sir.
I don't know why I guessed it's. I have it immediately, like it's right above your head. I can see it right in front of me.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Well, I'm proud of myself for not having to rely on the text. So please hit the like button, subscribe. Go to awesemo.com/join. Use the promo code 2020 for 20 days of 20. Oh my God, that's a lot of 20s. Use the promo code 2020. You can get an Awesemo Plus Platinum membership for 20 days, and it will cost you $20. Or use the promo code New Year for 20% off your first year of Awesemo Plus. Whew, that was close. Thank you very much to Yahoo Sports for being the presenting sponsor of this show. Check out Emacs Cash Building Blocks article for information on how to sign up there. Use that promo code Awesemo to get $30 in YSRPs. We will be back later today for the deeper dive and for Live Before Lock with myself and Fast Eddie Fear. Sal, anything else?
No, I think that's it for me. I think the news is the biggest piece. 4-game slate to start the year. There's a lot of nice prize pools. I like what they're doing right now for at least DraftKings side. I didn't look at FanDuel, but yeah, best of luck, everyone.
There we go, guys. Thank you very much. Good luck tonight. We'll talk to you again later.